Good afternoon, everyone. EagleX from ATX EagleX Gaming here today, and I have our top 16 list from the GenCon DC-1 online event. This event had 492 participants across 8 rounds. I want to thank TAC Games for running the event. I do want to make a note that this was shifted to a best of 1 after round 2, so we'll probably see a skew of some decks performing a little better than expected. But nonetheless, let's take a dive into some of the data and decks we have today. So first, I want to point out some of our data down here. We have different decks with their representation percentage along with their highest placement. So we can see Alphamon was the overwhelmingly popular deck at roughly 20%. And placing at 6th place, it did place multiple times in the top 16. As we can see, it took 4 of those spots. But we did see Reaper did win it all again. Shout out to Josh Camburn on winning the event. But then we see Security Control coming in 3rd, the highest grandest being 12th. Shout out to Russell on his grandest list. Guru X being very popular as well in the top 16. And Wargreymon X making appearance at 16th, Imperial at 4th, Beelstar at 17th, and Black Wargrey or Gaiomon at 10th place. For its highest placement. Didn't see any Magnamon X in the top 32. But let's go ahead and take a look into these lists. So first, we're going to look at Josh Camburn's D Reaper list. This one uses Starmons and Death X-Mons in addition to the Reaper package and the X-antibody option. For anyone who's not aware, the X-antibody option is a great way to accelerate Mother's your turn effect to reduce the cost of a Reaper, as it only checks the number of sources, not what the sources are. And then Starmons is a great way to pop the Psychmons that would deny the cost reduction of the deck of slamming Searchers for 1 or slamming any of the Reaper cards using the Mother effect. You can't trash the X-antibody for the Reaper itself. However, it puts your gatekeepers online that much sooner. And then Death X's are a great way to control and punish wide boards. And in 2nd place, we do have our Melga list. This one utilizes the Promo Guru package. To no surprise, drawing that many cards, similar to Stingmon and Imperial, is a great way to be consistent in the deck. 3 Hammer Spark, 1 Ice Ball, 3 X-antibody option, being very staple in these decks. Just to consistently build up your stack and do it as fast as possible. In 3rd place, we do have Security Control. This is a yellow base with your traditional purple-yellow package. Does include the new Maycrack Vicious mode and utilizes 1 Sakuya for this format. One thing to point out, we do have the Juno loop with Avenge Kid, utilizing Calling for Darkness because you can return not just 1 but 2 purple Digimon, so Juno being one of them. The second one could be a Maycrack, could be an Ofani, or more likely Death X-Mon. So you would also not just have an infinite deck, but you would also have infinite Death X's. Now, one thing to point out in this deck, we do see the purple Kari as a way to interact with your OTK opponents on their turn to have a memory gain as they attack and hurt you. Ideally in turn, but combination of Mimi as well is a way to deny a delicate plan if used defensively and not used as a way to call Magna Angemon during your turn. And then Sora Mimi being a great way to get extra memory if you're going against a Reaper opponent, as they typically don't have a level Digimon in play. Now we do see Imperial here taking, I believe it was 4th place, utilizing the EX2 Labra package. And the 1 Parasurmon, a little dinosaur here, and 2 Leomons. Reason these 2 are popping up, first of all, Leomon is a pseudo blocker if you have a Tamer out, and on deletion he does gain 2 memory and draw a card. It is a way to interact with OTK decks and have them prematurely in their turn if they don't have a memory blocker out. And then with the uprising of D Reaper and cost reduction, Stingmon inadvertently gets hit indirectly, so if you try reducing his costs, Psychmon would block it, so the dinosaur is a way to get around the cost reduction prevented. And then Megadeth is a very popular 3-4 in these decks, as it answers the Alphamon matchup and stops them from going for an OTK or swinging over your entire board multiple times. You can cast it from hand to return it, unless they run Breath of the Gods as a form of protection. Next, looking at another Melga list, utilizing the same Melga promo package, EX2 Melga and Melga X. EX1 Melga is a great way to go into Melga X for cheaper if you don't have the correct memory, because you draw so much from Promo Gururu, you're going to be filling your hand very fast. So going into the level 6 for often 2 or 1 memory is a common play you'll see. Now we look at x-antibody here, and we see the use of the Kongu option. Kongu, for you guys who don't know, is a great way to protect your stack from chaos degradation and security control. In addition, this deck uses 2 of the secret Alphamon and 3 of the rare Alphamon. The rare one lets you tuck a source underneath from trash and de-digivolve, while the secret Alphamon says at the end of attack, gain 2 memory, and it has the security effect of adding to hand. And if you have x-antibody on the field to negate, I think, or not negate, but prevent 12 Digimon from attacking. I believe it is... yeah, 12 Digimon from attacking the player for the turn. And the x-antibody option is a great way to get extra cycle and Evo up in your stack, as you can tuck it underneath and proc a Doraemon or Dorumon. And moving on to our next Reaper list, utilizing the same 4 Starmons and 3 Death Exmon, and x-antibody options for the mothers. We have another Imperial list here. This is our 8th place list. It uses 3 Gigadeath instead of Megadeth. It has the same issues in terms of protection from Breath of the Gods for the Alphamon matchup. However, the targets for Gigadeath do go to the bottom of the deck. You suspend 1 opponent's Digimon, then place up to 10 of your opponent's suspended Digimon to the bottom of the owner's deck in any order. So it's able to deny resources in hand and put them at the bottom of the deck instead, being the big notable difference, and it could potentially clear a larger board. Then we see another Alphamon list here, utilizing the rare Alphamon, 1 secret Alphamon, and then a spread of Kongu and Breath of the Gods for different protections, for security control, for bouncing effects. Breath being for the bouncing and DP reducing, Kongu being for anti-recovery and anti-chaos degradation. But we see our traditional package here. And here we have our first Gaiomon top 16 deck profile. For those who don't know, Gaiomon is the x-ante for Black Wargrey. Black Wargrey being a way to interact with tamers and smaller Digimon. But then the Gaiomon has security attack +1 and reboot as its main line, de-digivolve and blitz for its potential when digivolving effects. It's a great way to play defensively, especially with your blocker Greymon here. And we also do have 2 Omnimons at the top here, using the Blitz Omni and the Protection Omni X. So during your opponent's turn, you can strip 2 sources to negate an attack. A great way to defensively play the deck after you swing for all the security, or if you just have a bunch of sources. Because you have the x-antibodies, you'll easily be able to keep removing sources, and not to mention, you still get the protection from the Greymon x-antibody. But congratulations to the pilot of this list. We have another Alphamon list here, utilizing 3 of the secret Alphamons, 3 x-antibody option, and then a spread of Breath and Kongu in the list as well. But just your traditional alpha list. And we have our first grandest top 16. Congrats to Russell for piloting this deck. He has the Hero and Delicate Plan package for the security control matchup, but also has Ground Fang for the Alphamon matchup, as it's a way to remove a Digimon and a Tamer. Yeah, return 1 suspend Digi and suspend Tamer to the bottom of the deck. And And then also using Snymon here. Snymon was an inclusion in the Imperial starter deck, and it has the security effect of playing itself and on play suspending a Digimon. This could be very devastating to decks like Wargreymon as they restand when they attack. But very unique and innovative list here for sure. Move on to another alpha list. This one utilizing 2 Kangu, 1 Breath, 3 Rare Alphamon, and 3 of the Secret. Nothing super crazy here. Then we have another Melga X list. This one being a little bit more unique as it uses the BT1 Melga. So you can play out your level 4s or level 3s from its sources. So if you play out a level 3, you can go into the X-antibody right over it. Similar to the level 4, you can X-anti right over it. Proc your Cool Boys if you need to. And it runs 2 Kakaitis to give it protection from being swept along by some OTK decks as well. And we have another Imperial list here. Very similar to what we would see last format. This one utilizing the Vmon package. And the Lydramons. 4 Megadeth here for the Alphamon matchup yet again. And then 16th place, we do have a Wargreymon X list utilizing the Rise Gray package for the level 5s, so you're able to branch into the yellow or red level 6s. The yellow Wargrey is great because it gives you restands, it lets you attack with the security buffs of the starter Greymon. The when attacking of the starter Agu is not once per turn, similar with Demimera. However, it can't go into Blitz Omni directly, or utilize tie for the extra checks. Meanwhile, the X-Ante can, and a really cool interaction here is having the X-Ante option underneath of the stack with a red Wargrey, Digivolving to Blitz Omni, swinging, activating the ESS of X-Ante to Digivolve into the Omni X-Antibody. So you're able to be aggressive and then protect your stack and security afterwards. As the protection, yet again, comes from the Greymon X for Omnimons or Greymons. With that being said, guys, those are the top 16 decks. Let me know in the comments below what your thoughts were on this video. With that being said, take care, y'all.